ladies and gentlemen. Welcome here as we prepare for our 22nd race of the season for the NNSCRA Hersheys Cup Series non-charter division, as we're getting set to go racing here at a track that's going to play host to two elimination races this weekend for both the Pizza Hut X Series and the Hersheys Cup Series Charter Series. We will be seeing the Pizza Hut X Series whittled down from 12 to 8, and we'll be seeing the Hersheys Cup Series chase whittled down from 16 to 12. But we've got the non-charter series race here today, and it's getting down to the nitty-gritty here for these guys as well. We're going to take a look here real quickly on the bottom right of your screen. This is around the cut line, that fifth in the standing spot we talk about with the fact of the top 5 in the stands getting those charters for next season. Now, the two drivers you do not see at the top of the list, first in the stands, Daniel Olson, and Stephen Pollard III, second in points. Olson has a 25-point advantage over Stephen Pollard III, and Pollard has an 18-point advantage over the first car we see in this list, third in the standings, Daniel Gilbert. But look right there, Caleb Farrell is the guy that is currently right on that cut line and fifth in the standings, just behind Seth Cole. But it's not really that, Daniel Gilbert or Seth Cole have a huge advantage over Caleb Farrell, both only 8 and 6 points respectively ahead of that cut line. And look behind Caleb Farrell. You got David Culpepper 1 point back, Steven Gonzalez 4 points back, 7 points back, Kev Shearer, Cole Deaver only 10 points back, and only 14 points out, Paul Minnick and Sean Henley. So it is still anybody's game to get into that top 5 in the standings, and we're going to have to see what that will happen here when it culminates to a head at Indianapolis Motor Speedway for 20 laps of racing. This will also give us an idea of what to expect in the upcoming weekend, but for now, let's go down trackside.
Drivers, start your engines!
There's the command to fire them up as we'll get set to roll them off. Get set to soul them off would be how I would say it if I were continuing on with that fail. Anyway, Joshua Sekuli lining up on the pole position. Now, there are some drivers that already, with this being the technically fourth to last race of the season for these drivers, there are drivers that are already mathematically ineligible for being able to make their way up into the top 5 in the point standings, and those drivers are pretty much from about the 33rd position in points on down. Those drivers would include Christian Merrick Jr., Angel Navarro, former race winner, and Tyler Deaver, Chris Dollerton, James Richardson, John Cinedino, Carson Gumm, Elijah Gilbert, Noah Carson, and then, of course, the split schedule with Caitlin Sang and Josh Sekuli also puts them mathematically out of being in the top 5 in the standings. Obviously, Caitlin Sang now over in the Charter Series, Sekuli on the pole here today, but neither one of them will be securing, well, put this way, basically, Sekuli will not be securing a charter for next season for Hersheys Cup. And, of course, more than likely, by the time this race comes out, the announcement will already have been made of what's going to be happening for next season in NNSCRA competition. Of course, the Hersheys Cup Series running with only 35, potentially a maximum of 38 drivers next year, and the Pizza Hut X Series coming back for a third season, and then the new series, the Tax Slayer Truck Series. And you got to wonder what if one of these drivers that don't make it in with a charter next year, with finishing top 5 in standings, who are we going to see in the Pizza Hut X Series full time? Who are we going to see in the Tax Slayer Truck Series full time? Never know, but we're getting ready to find out who's going to kiss a yard of bricks here today at Indianapolis Motor Speedway. 20 laps of racing. The Dodge Charger pace car is pulled off to pit road. We're getting ready to turn them loose as Sekuli and Zachary Stoltz will bring us down. Waiting on that flagman, and green flag is in the air. We're underway at Indy. Phil Parker all over the back bumper of Sekuli. He has thoughts about leading the first lap of this race. Look for his second win of the season. Look at all the Fire Ice Racing cars where they started up here. It was actually, they started in second, third, and fourth. Or maybe it was second, third, and fifth. But all of them were up here. The 87 of Phil Parker, the 93 of Zorlin, and the 86 of two-time winner Zachary Stoltz. Phil Parker, winner from Dover, out in front, and they were 4 wide, it looked like, back here. Oh, and they're wrecking. There they go. That's LaPlante around. Jordan Lopez is spun. Tyler Deaver is spun around. And Seth Cole just clobbered LaPlante. Stephen Paul was the third involved as well. Daniel Gilbert, that's at least 3 drivers Coming into this race, they were inside the top 10 in the point standings. LaPlante is still trying to get his car turned back around as the caution flag is out. Paul Minnick, there's another driver top 10 in the standings involved. That's at least 4 drivers inside the top 10 in points involved in this. Cole Deaver, 9th in points. He's got damage. At the 95 of Caleb Farrell, comes in that critical 5th in position in the points. I think he got through it okay. Oh, don't start stacking up like this. It's called brakes, guys. Use them. Oh, Henley! Oh, Henley just ran into the back of Cole Deaver. Henley was a driver that was close to the top 10 in the standings, and he wasn't even involved in the wreck, and now he finds himself with a damaged front end because people don't know how to use the brakes here at Indy, apparently. Well, Phil Parker is going to be the leader over his teammate Jonathan Zorlin here under our first caution. Big wreck, and I told you, Indy is a point shaker track, and that's why we come here for elimination races in our chases for the championship. And it's playing a factor here in the non-charter series race here today. So let's take a look and see what happened for our first yellow flag of the day. Well, there you saw just barely at the start there. They were 4 wide with, I think that was Lopez, Stoltz, Seth Cole, and I'm not sure who the other car was. It might have been DJ Curtis. There you see right there, LaPlante slides up. He kind of goes across the nose of Lopez. He gets up in the wall. Now you see both Zachary Stoltz and Jordan Lopez facing up the wrong way, but right there is going to be a second wreck involving Austin LaPlante in the 64 as he's going to go up across the nose of Caleb Farrell. He gets it up into the outside retaining wall. We'll jump back and see the incident back further with Lopez and Zachary Stoltz because some other drivers got involved in that, but here comes the shot that we saw live from Seth Cole T-boning that 64, and there you see right there the 01 of Stephen Pollard III getting involved as well, and then here comes Daniel Gilbert, who comes in 3rd in the points right there. He's going to get a piece of LaPlante as LaPlante spinning. Kev Shearer back there was also involved there in the 30. He got into Seth Cole. It's another driver top 10 in the points. Alex Miller involved along with Henry Nova in the 41 as well. And you see right there as the 64 catches the grass, it flips his car up and over on his roof. And there you see on the top left of your screen, that's David Culpepper with damage on the Sharpie Ford. 6th in the point stand. So with what I've seen here, the only drivers that came into this race top 10 in the points that haven't been involved in this, didn't get a piece of this wreck, included the points leader, Daniel Olson, Caleb Farrell, Steven Gonzalez, and possibly, and I say this tentatively, possibly Cole Deaver. We're going to have to see if he got involved in the incident further back, but I thought I saw some front-end damage on his car, so we'll confirm that as we jump back, take a look at another angle. And we've dropped it back just a little bit so you can see, yeah, it was 4 wide and Curtis was the car on the bottom, but he really didn't have anything to do with that. It was kind of, I think Seth Cole stuck his nose in the middle there and Lopez slid up into him and gets hooked. Now right there, you see Caleb Farrell gets a little piece of that, and we know he had further contact a little bit later on with LaPlante, but it looks like the 95 got through pretty well. But, oh, Sean Henley got a piece of that right there. He got into Jordan Lopez, so he already had damage apparently before that stack up. There you see Paul Minnick, nowhere for him to go. Tyler Deaver right there gets into Zachary Stoltz. Daniel Gilbert got involved in this first incident before going up and clobbering Austin LaPlante. And then everybody's trying to slow up, and everybody else does a pretty good job getting through this. Maybe a little bit of contact with the left front for Matt McIntyre, a little bit of contact with the right front for Chelsea Bowles. Oh, there's Christian Merrick Jr. He got a piece of the 96 of Tyler Deaver. Oh, and then Deaver tries to turn it back around, and that's right in front of Culpepper, so that's where Culpepper got his damage. But I'm looking for the 66 of Cole Deaver, and I didn't see him really get involved. And yet it appeared he had damage. There's a 66. It looks like there's front-end damage on that car. Did he get involved in something else? No, look at that. So Cole Deaver, like I said, the possible exception to Cole Deaver. And he indeed was one of the drivers that was able to avoid this. Watch this. Goes to the low side, gets by Zachary Stoltz. They're wrecking up ahead of him. He goes through the grass. Slides it back up, and he gets through without any problems. Chloe Erickson did a nice job getting through that wreck too. Caleb Farrell. Sean Henley got a little piece of the first incident, but he got through pretty relatively unscathed as well. And I think another car that did a good job getting through was that 98 of Angel Navarro. He's been on a hot streak of late, has Navarro, and he misses another big wreck here. maybe en route to another good finish for him. But for now, let's go back now for the restart, see who's out of this race, and try and figure out what the top 5 in the point standings outlook's going to be now, as we are just barely into the start of this race here at Indy. Field just crossed the start-finish line, so we will get ready to go back green, and everybody came to pit road under that caution. So Phil Parker's team gets him out first, but now a new second-place driver behind him, the pole sitter Joshua Sekuli. Steven Gonzalez now up to third as Jonathan Zorlin lost 2 spots on pit road. He slipped back to 4th, and Ryan George slipped back from 3rd to 5th. Tripataki Vernio will restart in 6th. Quentin Moore there in 7th. 8th place is going to be Trace Williams. 9th is DJ Curtis with Cole Deaver in the 10th spot. The guy that's got to be licking his chops right now, Quentin Moore in that 89 car. Now, he has a bit of a gaps to make up, but I think with the run he's having right now and the drivers that got involved in that wreck here for our first caution, he might move his way into the top 10 in the point standings after today's race. Out of the race are the following drivers: Paul Minnick, Stephen Powell III, Seth Cole, Austin LaPlante, Kev Shearer, Henry Nova, and Alex Miller. 4 of those drivers came into this race in the top 10 in the point standings. Pollard came in 2nd in the point standings. Seth Cole came in 4th, Kev Shearer came in 8th, and Paul Minnick came in 10th. So definitely a point shakeup right there. So we will have 35 cars still running, and all 35 still on the lead lap. You see David Culpepper, Daniel Gilbert starting near the rear of the field, along with Sean Henley, some other drivers that are running well in the point standings and just kind of need to finish this race out to try and salvage what they can. As up front, Phil Parker gets us back underway here at Indianapolis. And Sekuli going to waste no time. He's going to go to the inside. Sekuli has not led today, even though he started on the pole. Phil Parker got around him on the first lap and came back to lead the first lap of the race. So Sekuli trying to lead this race, and he's got Ryan George to the bottom of the racetrack trying to take that spot from him. Drag race down the back straightaway into 3, and Ryan George will have the preferred line. Look at that crossover there by Phil Parker. He'll not only get by Sekuli, he may force his way there underneath Ryan George as Joshua Sekuli gets spun. He's going to come back up the track and collects Noah Cars, Becca Tellier, John Cittadino, and Cody Smart. Another big wreck, and Becca Tellier just got clobbered by somebody. And it looks like it might have been the 85 of Carson Gum. Caution is out once again. Sekuli trying to get his car to pit road. Everybody scattering to avoid the Eggplant Unlimited Company Chevy Impala. And a big wreck once again. The caution is out for the second time here today. I'm telling you what, this is making me a little bit worried for the upcoming races here this weekend for both Pizza Hut and Hersheys Cup, with the fact that there's basically a trip to the next round of the chase on the line in both those races with what we're seeing here today in the non-charter series. Not even halfway through, already our second caution of the day, and Ryan George is currently out in front. Let's take a look at yet another replay. And I think Sekuli is going to get turned by the 93 of Jonathan Zorlin. Let's see here. Off of turn 3. Yeah. I wondered if maybe Sekuli came down, but no, Zorlin's car slipped up all the way up almost towards heading for that outside wall. He gets into Sekuli, spins him around, and Sekuli's just a passenger at this point. Drivers will tell you it's so flat down there on that access road, and with the grass there's no grip. Sekuli, maybe if they had given him room, might have been able to save it, but right there, just comes up, clips Cittadino in the left rear, right up in front of Noah Cars. Cody Smart nowhere to go, Becca Tellier nowhere to go. Nick Gunther gets a slight piece of that incident there with the right front, and then as we go further back here to Becca Tellier, she's going to get nailed by, I believe it was Carson Gum in the 85 car. Right there. Oh, and Carson had nowhere to go. He had him 3 wide underneath him with Alex Gray and Christian Merrick Jr. And then Becca Tellier's car gets punted into Noah Cars. Amazingly enough, we got away with only 6 drivers at the very least being involved in this wreck. And I'll tell you a couple of drivers that were very happy to see that happen. Not in a vindictive way, but just in the fact they're picking up points as a result, and those included David Culpepper, Daniel Gilbert, and Sean Henley. You saw them all working their way by, so that's about 5 or 6 more spots they pick up here, 5 or 6 more points that they would pick up in the finishing results here today. So that's what put us under the caution. Let's go back now once again for the green. Well, as this race progresses on, I'm seeing how hard these drivers are battling. All hopes that I had of maybe seeing these drivers go into a long green flag run seems to be kind of going away. More drivers back behind the wall, including Cody Smart. Daniel Gilbert has actually taken his car behind the wall, so that was one driver I thought was going to pick up some spots here, getting by the wreck, but the damage too great on his machine. He's taken his car out. He'll finish 31st. Joshua Cooley started on the pole. That's not where he'll finish. He will not finish in P1. He'll finish 32nd. Noah Kars, Becca Tellier, and Carson Gum have all gone behind the wall as well, joining Paul Minnick, Stephen Pollard III, Seth Cole, Austin LaPlante, Kev Shearer, Henry Nova, and Alex Miller. So 29 cars still running, all 29 still on the lead lap, as Ryan George will get us back underway over Phil Parker, Trace Williams, DJ Curtis, and Steven Gonzalez. Of the top 5, 2 of the drivers have been to victory lane this season. Phil Parker at Dover and Steven Gonzalez at Charlotte. The rest of your top 10 going to be Jonathan Zorlin, Trapataki Vernio. Cole Deaver up there right now. He's the highest running of the drivers that comes into this race, with the exception of Steven Gonzalez in the top 10 in the points. Gonzalez 7th in the points coming into this race, Deaver 9th. They both might find themselves up inside the top 5 with where they're running right now, in the point stands that is. Quentin Moore might find himself in the top 10, and Caleb Farrell still hanging there. He was in that critical 5th spot in the point stands coming into this race. He's just barely in that 10th position as the green flag is back out here at Indianapolis. And man, Ryan George was ready. He smashed the throttle, and he is gone. The battle is now on for second. Behind him, Trace Williams to the inside on Phil Parker. Dodge, Chevy, Toyota battling there for that second spot. Keep in mind, too, these drivers all battling to try and finish in the top 7 so they can take part in the Hersheys Cup Series charter race here in 2 days. Trace Williams got the second spot away from Parker, but he's not going to get to keep it for long, because here comes DJ Curtis to the inside, and Curtis will take the spot. Oh, they're 3 wide back there. Careful! Steven Gonzalez gets put into the wall, courtesy of Jonathan Zorlin, as Caleb Farrell is going to bypass the both of them. He'll move automatically from 7th, now up to the 4th position. And look who's just kind of lying in wait, just riding around right there. Daniel Olson in the 47. He's going to cross the line, currently scored in that 19th position. He doesn't have a whole heck of a lot to worry about. A lot of the drivers that were trying to run him down for the points lead are out of the race. Actually, it looks like there might be a little bit of damage on that Winfield Dodge Dart. I might be wrong. And he's actually going to lose a couple spots there, but at least he's still running, which is more than can be said for a number of drivers like Stephen Pollard III and Seth Cole, who were trying to run him down for the points lead. Meanwhile, up front, the battle is on. This is for the 4th position. Angel Navarro to the bottom on Caleb Farrell. Got a good battle going on for second place, or make that for the lead. It was for second between Curtis and Trace Williams, and now DJ Curtis is all over the back bumper of the number 91 of Ryan George for the race lead. DJ Curtis has 4 top 10 finishes this season, and those 4 top 10s were top 5 finishes. But he has not won yet this season. 1 win so far for the WG Motorsports team, as Austin LaPlante went to victory lane back at Watkins Glen. DJ Curtis trying to become the 2nd driver out of that team to go to victory lane. Ryan George tucks into 2nd. 3rd place now Trace Williams, and then a long ways back, almost over 2 seconds, back to Angel Navarro, currently running in that 4th spot with Chloe Erickson and Cole Deaver right behind him. Ooh, that was a close call right there for Caleb Farrell. Almost got the wall. Oh, trouble! Steven Gonzalez! Phil Parker and Steven Gonzalez. Oh, and I think everybody's going to avoid the 60. And everybody pretty much avoided the 87 as well. But that's going to bring out the yellow flag. Caution is out for the 3rd time here today. And they just took it, and Ryan George was able to get back around DJ Curtis coming to the stripe. And I'm not certain, but that may end this race under yellow. It'll be close. We may, fingers crossed, get a 1-lap shootout. I think we're going to, actually. With the caution coming out on lap 14, they take about 5 laps to do the pacing, and I think we will get back green with a 1-lap shootout here. It's like only a 2-car incident involving Phil Parker and Steven Gonzalez, but that is again another driver in Gonzalez that came in top 10 in the points, came in 7th in the standings. And that was up, I think, inside the top 10, if not just barely outside the top 10. Bringing out that yellow flag, but didn't look like anybody else hit him. So nice job of avoidance by everyone else. But Ryan George out in front, he's hoping the race ends under caution. Everybody else behind him hoping the same thing I'm hoping, for an exciting 1-lap dash to the finish. We'll see what the case is going to be as soon as we come back from our latest replay. Here's what happened, and yeah, this was, I think, somewhere around a battle for the 9th spot. And almost shades of what we saw happen with Sekuli and Zorlin. Just one car goes up the track, gets into the other, and wow, what a miss there for Elijah Gilbert in the 8. And I thought for certain someone was going to get Gonzalez here. Stoltz and Lopez get by. Here comes Christian Merrick Jr. All going to get past the 60 car. And then if we go to the 87 here, who spun out Steven Gonzalez, his car actually never went around. You see him go down there on the apron. And fortunately, everybody smart enough to realize what happened moved up the track there through turn 4, giving him room to come back up. So wonder he didn't get swept up by Steven Gonzalez. Man, look over there on the left side, that close call there with Elijah Gilbert. And, oh, Chris Dollerton nearly ran into the back of Phil Parker. Just barely is able to get up by and shaves on through. As does Vernio, Jackson, McIntyre, Shears, and others. Well, I know I've said this a couple of times in the past couple of weeks, but we got away with one there. And that's what puts us under the caution. Let's see what we've got. Do we finish the race out with a 1-lap shootout, or do we finish it under caution? About ready to go back live and find out the answer. Wow, it's going to be even better. We're going to end up having 3 laps to go in this race when we go back green. So that's a lot more on the ticker than I thought we were going to have. I thought it was going to be a 1-lap shootout, maybe at the most a green-white checkered, but it will be 3 laps to settle it out here today. And if we do have a caution flag come out before we have the white flag, then the race will definitely end under caution. That caution a big break, too, for drivers 4th on back, Navarro, Erickson, Deaver, because they were over 2 seconds back behind the top 3, even with them battling for the lead up there. So now they're all back bunched up and have a chance of picking up a victory as Ryan George, DJ Curtis, Trace Williams, Angel Navarro, Chloe Erickson, the top 5, all looking for their first win of the year. Cole Deaver looking for his 2nd. Caleb Farrell, he's up there in the top 5 in the point standings coming into this race. He's been up in the top 5 for most of the season. He's still looking for his first win of the season. Jonathan Zorlin, Quentin Moore, and Chelsea Bowles. That is your top 10 for this restart. With Elijah Gilbert, Chris Dollerton, don't count these drivers out. We haven't really seen them up here at the front yet. Triptaki Vernio, Charles Jackson, Matt McIntyre, top 15. With Phil Parker, Dougie Shears, Zachary Stoltz, Jordan Lopez, and Christian Merrick Jr., your top 20. Steven Gonzalez and Phil Parker both able to continue after that incident. Parker restarting 16th, Gonzalez restarting 29th, last car running and on the lead lap. Green flag back out, 3 laps to go here at Indy. Next flag ends the race. Saw DJ Curtis get around Ryan George, but Ryan George then very quickly made his way past DJ Curtis to take the race lead back. So apparently it's very hard to hold the race lead here at Indy, or so it seems. Whoa, almost had a wreck right there. Angel Navarro not giving Trace Williams very much room. He almost literally ran him up to the wall, and now here comes Cole Deaver to the inside for 5th off of Chloe Erickson. Navarro's been so strong the last couple of weeks. Ever since finishing in that 2nd position to Seth Cole back at Hillside, that 98 team has been on par. Still green as they come off turn 4. 2 laps to go. If they can make it around just one more time, we'll race it back to the checkered flag. George by about a car length over Curtis. Then there's Navarro right there looming in 3rd. Trace Williams hanging there in 4th place. Maybe just picking their moments. Whoa! Careful back there! Zorlin, Quentin Moore, Farrell, and Gilbert almost went 4 wide. And now they settle it down the straightaway to single file. That's where you can do 3 wide, guys. Why'd you wait till a turn? Oh, just please make it through 3 and 4. No caution, please. Oh, they're 3 wide. No, please. Ooh, Farrell's gonna squeak by. Are we good? Are we gonna race to the checkers? I think we are. We're still green. White flag displayed. It's gonna be George Curtis to settle it out here at Indy. We will race it back to the checkered flag no matter what. Ryan George a little high, wide, and handsome through that corner, and he scrapes the wall. Here comes Curtis to the bottom for the race lead. Down the straightaway they go. Where's Navarro going to help? Inside or outside line? He chooses the middle. Now he goes low. Navarro might get a big enough run to maybe make it 3 wide into 3. Will he try it? No, he goes back to the high side. Curtis still low on Ryan George, though. Here comes Trace Williams into the mix. Curtis with the advantage on the low side. Ryan George trying to battle back up top, but Curtis clears. Down the straightaway, DJ Curtis will pick up his first win of the season in the Hersheys Cup Series non-charter series, takes the checkered flag at Indianapolis. Wow. What a finish. Unfortunately, it took us 3 cautions to get to that exciting finish, but man. Second win of the season for WG Motorsports. First win for DJ Curtis. And the Flying J Chevrolet was flying today, and the Pilot Chevrolet was piloted by one DJ Curtis to the checkered flag. I think Ryan George had a strong enough car he could have held Curtis off, but when he ran turn 1 so wide and got the wall in between turns 1 and 2, I think that's what cost him, and Curtis was there to capitalize. We had 4 drivers right up there in the hunt for that win, throwing in Trace Williams and Angel Navarro as well. What a finish. Standings should be official, and let's take a look and see what they look like. So Curtis, Ryan George, Trace Williams, Angel Navarro, Chelsea Bowles, Caleb Farrell. He may move up maybe as high as second in the point standings with that run. And Cole Deaver, great run for him. That's a driver that also needed a good run. He'll maybe move up, if not into the top 5 in the standings, very close I should think. And all 7 of those drivers will also take part in the Hersheys Cup Series main event in 2 days. Elijah Gilbert, great run for that 8 car in 8th place. Jonathan Zorlin brings it home in 9th, with Phil Parker getting involved in that last caution after he made contact with Steven Gonzalez. He'll still bring it home for a top 10 finish. Quentin Moore, 11th. Will be interesting to see if he works his way up into the top 10 in the point stands. At least came into this race 12th in the stands. Chloe Erickson dropped back to 12th. Chris Dollerton finishes 13th, with Jordan Lopez, Matt McIntyre your top 15. Zachary Stoltz, Dougie Shears, Charles Jackson, Christian Merrick Jr., and Tripentac Uvernio completed your top 20, and the rest of the cars to finish this race were John Cittadino, Nick Gunther, James Richardson, Daniel Olson, 24th. Now, obviously, he's going to still grow his points lead heading to next week with a number of drivers behind him, Pollard, Gilbert, and Cole finishing out of the race, but not exactly the best of runs here today, so he won't gain a super whole lot over everybody else. And the rest of the cars that finished this race, David Culpepper, Alex Gray, Sean Henley, Tyler Deaver, and Steven Gonzalez. And there you see the rest of the cars that finished out of the race. The most notable number of drivers that came into this race, top 10 in the points. Daniel Gilbert, 31st. Paul Minnick, 36th. Stephen Paul III, 37th. Seth Cole in 38th. And Kev Shearer in 40th. So like I said, definitely going to be a point shakeup. It'll be interesting to see what our top 5 in points look like heading into next week's race. If I had to wager a guess, Olsen's still there. I think maybe, just maybe, squeaking into the top 5 could be drivers like Cole Deaver, David Culpepper, and Steven Gonzalez, but we'll have to wait and see. Thank you all for tuning in to today's race from Indianapolis. If you enjoyed it, be sure to give us a like, subscribe, become part of the crew today. We've shown your full finish results. These are your point standings heading into our next race for this series, I believe we will not see these drivers until we get to, and I can tell you right now, until we get to the Super Speedway of Zenjoltis. These drivers are going to be taking 3 weeks off before we see them for their 23rd race of the season, and then of course they'll be finishing out their year with the last 2 races of the season at Talladega and Auto Club. Tomorrow, we're going to find out who are going to be moving from the top 12 into the Elite 8 for the Pizza Hut X Series chase for the championship. And then the following day, we whittle it down from 16 drivers to the top 12 drivers that are battling for the Hersheys Cup Series chase for the championship. 2 elimination races here this weekend at Indianapolis for 2 different series. Congrats once again to DJ Curtis on the victory. We will see you guys next time as you've been watching a production of the NNSCRA Offline Racing at its best.